Well, hello, my name is Rebecca Victor, and I'm a transformational life and visionary leadership coach. And I absolutely love working with people who are just wanting to step outside the boundaries of their own thinking to create a life that's bigger than they ever considered possible. Taking the steps, sometimes the risks, and enjoying the rewards of that journey. And today I'm going to be talking with you and sharing with you part two of a conversation I'm having around a workshop called Navigating Life's Uncharted Waters. The first time that I spoke about when we're wanting to navigate uncharted waters, we have to figure out the uncharted waters we want to go in. What do we want to experience? What do we want to get to know? And then what are some of the steps that we can take to help us? Maybe we want to look at maps that people have come up with so we can determine the different shoals and the depths and how that shows up, not only as we might be as a captain of a ship, but as the captain of our own lives. What is it that we're dreaming of? Where is it we want to go? So today's presentation is really geared around the next component, which is now that I've got an idea, then what do I bring to it? What do I know about myself that is going to assist me and support this journey that I want to step out on? And what might there be that could be kind of negating me in doing that? Like any good ship captain, before they venture out on uncharted waters, they have to determine what their vessel is. They have to know their ship well, inside and out. They have to know what it's capable of, the depth of water that it can rest in, what would be considered too shallow for it, the kind of weather it can withstand. If is it a small pleasure craft that they take and they pretty much hug around the waters, but don't really take off too far in, but they just hug around? Or are they the master of a ship that's huge, like it's a freighter? Or maybe it's a cruise ship, it's huge. You see, because someone who has as a captain a cruise ship is going to be able to move in directions that a small cruiser, a small pleasure craft will not. But more than likely, oftentimes, the huge freighter or cruise ship will not be able to go into the shallow waters that a pleasure craft can go in if it's small enough. So it's really learning about what is this ship, what makes it go, how to turn it, so that when they are working in waters, and all kinds of conditions will arise for someone who has a ship and they're out on those waters, do they know their ship well enough so that they can use those elements to the advantage of that ship as it navigates the waters? And so that's really one of the things that we look when we're learning to navigate uncharted waters. What do we know about ourselves, our strengths, the ideas that cause difficulty for us, the questions that we have or the doubts, as well as the confidences that we have? What are the belief structures that are part of those that will support the journey and those that might start slowly kind of nipping away at them? We need to know a little bit about our ship, this vessel that we rest in, our personality, the things that we enjoy, the things that we don't. Those are all important. So how do we go about learning this ship? Much like a captain who gets out and runs the ship in different waters, does the studies, learns from other individuals, other captains who have been out there seafaring, we too are learning to get to know this ship, this body, this vehicle, this personality that we have, and how it is affecting how we engage on our journey in these uncharted waters. We do this by one simple activity, and that is we learn to become aware. We learn how to pay attention with a note of curiosity, not a note of judgment, not a note of trying to take the information you're learning and start categorizing yourself, or not expressing disappointment or elation or anything. just becoming aware. Now, true awareness, when it is done, is really not a judgment-oriented thing. There really is not judgment in a true awareness. It's usually just to become curious. Have you ever sat and watched something that you're not emotionally attached to, and you're just watching it unfold, and you can see the ways the things that are being done are supporting the intent of whatever's happening, and the ways that the actions could be taken away? You're not looking at it with any measure of judgment, but you're seeing clearly, wow, how interesting that this action is helpful, but this is not. So that's what we're looking at when we're looking at becoming aware. We're wanting to pay attention to the beliefs that we have, the habits that we have created that support what we want to do as we navigate these uncharted waters, and that might, again, hinder that process. And how we do it is, it's kind of likened almost like there's a little aspect of my being that becomes this observer. And it's watching what I'm thinking. It's aware of what I'm thinking, my actions, the emotions, but there's not any judgment from that part of me. It's just noting. And wow, isn't it interesting how that particular belief is affecting whatever it is that I'm attempting to create? So as I begin to pay attention to that, I become more aware. I become more aware of this vesicle, this vehicle that I rest in, my personality and my beliefs. So that as I am learning to chart these uncharted waters, I can start to make the adjustments that I need to make by listening to different people that will help me maintain a surety about what I'm going for. That will help me engage in different practices that will strengthen my ability to do what I need to do when I hit a certain point in what I'm trying to navigate so that I can experience success. And so that's really what the second option is about. It's really about how do you become aware, pay attention, no judgment, and learn. And in that learning, give yourself the opportunity to modify it, to change it, or work with it. Like any ship that may have to do something, that ship may be what it is. That ship can't be remolded. It is what it is. Unlike us, we can remold ourselves. That takes some time. It takes some work. But in that ship, that captain has to know what the ship does well and what it doesn't. So it knows what it can do should it arise upon some condition in the waters that it wasn't expecting as it's moving along the course that it has set out in order to achieve what it wants. So I hope this gives you some idea that how important it is not only having an idea of where we want to go, but getting to know ourselves, getting to know the ship that we are navigating with, observing it, becoming aware, and then from there discerning what is going to serve me. Do I want to shift this all, or do I want to learn how to work with this and continue on and still succeed in the direction that I have? Now, in a few days, I'm going to be doing the last of the 3 series where we're really going to talk about not only do we have the vessel, the vehicle, but the realization that this ship oftentimes is going to require a crew to work it. And so what in our lives, as we're stepping forward, especially in big ways, are going to require the aid of others to support us. And so we'll talk a little bit about that in the next 4 days or so. So thank you for taking a moment to listen. And if you've enjoyed this and you are in Louisville or nearby, Sunday, August 27th, from 12:30 to 2:30, I'm going to be doing a workshop where we'll really get to dive into this. It's 2 hours. We'll have a good time. It's going to be held at the Integrative Building. Let me see. I have to make sure I have that right. The Center for Integrative Health Building. And that is at 105 Linden Lane in Louisville, Kentucky. And so if you'd like to join us, then please go to www.yourjoyfulpath.com/Eventbrite to go ahead and register. Have a wonderful day. It's absolutely beautiful where I'm at. And I hope that if you're going to watch the eclipse tomorrow, that you have a really good time doing it. Take care, and bye-bye.